What is up, people? Greg here. It's the Vinyl Rundown, and this is the challenge, the contest from the Vinyl Guru. 5 albums you recommend. Vinyl Guru, brand new channel. Well, pretty new. Rocketed to over 2,500 subscribers in a pretty short period of time. Good for her. And there's like controversy surrounding her channel. Like, what's up with that? She's got a lot of subscribers. That's great. Bringing more people into the vinyl community. Always a good thing. The vinyl community should not be this closed, insular clique of only people who know each other. It's open to anybody who wants to join. So the more subscribers you get, the more people are getting into vinyl records. That's cool. She's got this whole almost Mae West persona thing, vibe that's kind of cool. But somebody out there is really obsessed with her glasses for some reason, Totally doesn't stop talking about her glasses. I don't know what to say. Nothing wrong with... Some of us got to wear glasses, some of us don't, and we wear them anyway. What are we talking about here? 5 albums that I recommend. These are not the greatest albums of all time. These are not my 5 favorite albums. I picked 5 albums from 5 sort of different genres that are ones that I would recommend to somebody who says, hey, I don't know about that genre. What's a good record to start out in that genre? So, starting right off the bat with a big one that isn't that well known. Baby Huey. Baby Huey, the living legend. Baby Huey was an early sort of soul, funk, R&B writer and producer, and wrote tunes and was contributing to other people's albums, and didn't release a lot of stuff because he did not live very long. There may be some clues as to why he didn't live very long in this picture. And notice he's reading a cookbook, and he certainly enjoyed his fine cuisine. And he also enjoyed some drugs, and he died at the age of 26. And this album was produced by Curtis Mayfield and released after his death. So this is a posthumous album. Original is very valuable. This is a reissue from the good folks at Rhino Records. You may be familiar with the song Hard Times. Has been covered by a couple of artists. I really like the instrumental version he does on here of California Dreamin'. Good all-around funk, R&B, feel-good album. A lot of hip-hop artists have sampled his tunes. So if you can get your hands on Baby Huey, he is the living legend. But he didn't live that long. I think he died in the early or mid-70s, age 26. So there you go, Baby Huey. Coming up at number 2 of records that I recommend. Is there a record in here? One of my favorite records from the 80s. What year? 87? A band that just is not that well known. The DBs, as in decibels. They used to say dBs stands for decibels on their early records. I would call this kind of a power pop, jangly, a little bit folksy, a little bit alt bluesy. Alt bluesy, does that make any sense? Roots rock, that was what I was looking for, because there's some country, a little bit of country twang, but it's really pop music. 2 really good songwriters, Peter Holzapfel and Chris Stamey. Which one is Chris Stamey? Chris Stamey. Is that Chris Stamey? I saw them live and they look different 30 years later. Saw them play at McCabe's Guitar Shop in Santa Monica in the back room, and I was like in this first or second row, 10 feet away from him. Beautiful concert. Anyway, pop sensibilities with some rootsiness and some sense of humor. Got a lot of good players on here. Sid Straw sang some backup vocals. Van Dyke Parks, who you probably know from hanging around the Beach Boys, and Ben Montench from the Tom Petty Band, guest appearance on here. This record didn't find its way to the charts primarily because the record company, I guess, went out of business right when they should have been promoting this. Not their fault, but the DBs. And here on the vinyl community, Hannah from, not Montana, Omaha. Hannah the Omaha introvert and I are the 2 biggest DBs fans, I would say. Here on the vinyl community, check her channel out. Love all the tunes on here. So there you go, the DBs. Who's next? Changing genres now. Let's go to my genre, jazz. I'm really more of a jazz guy. What's going on with this stupid thing? I don't know. What is all this? There's the lady. Okay, jazz. Wayne Shorter on Blue Note, 1964. Speak No Evil. This, some people regard, well, first of all, a lot of people would regard Wayne Shorter as the preeminent best composer from the Blue Note era, classic Blue Note era, 50s and 60s, which I do. And he composed a lot of important music for Miles Davis. This record ends up being kind of like the Miles Davis classic quintet, because it includes Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter. Those guys were very important backup guys to Miles Davis. Not Freddie Hubbard. Miles has his own trumpet player himself. He doesn't need Freddie Hubbard. Anyway, a lot of people would regard this as Wayne Shorter's best album, and I regard this as one of the top 4 or 5 Blue Note albums of all time, based on the intricacy and complexity of the compositions. A lot of Blue Note, I mean, I love Blue Note, but a lot of their records are just kind of blowing sessions. This is music that's pretty thoughtfully and intelligently composed. There's great soloing on it, but a lot of these tunes end up being kind of jazz standards that a lot of other musicians will record later in life. You've got Witch Hunt, you've got Fee Fi Fo Fum, Speak No Evil, Infant Eyes, a few other tunes. This is the 75th anniversary pressing, which is one of the worst series of pressings in the Blue Note world. The 80th anniversary stuff that we have now is great. Obviously, the Tone Poet is great. But if you're not willing to spend a bloody fortune, you may be stuck with this for now until somebody comes out with maybe a Tone Poet. The other audiophile labels that have released this charged a bloody... They're going for a fortune now. They were $50-$60 new, but today they go for $200-$300 because this record is so well respected. And I've mentioned this before, but Don Was, the current president of Blue Note Records, who has done so much to revitalize interest in the label, he cites this as his favorite all-time record. So me and Don Was, we have great taste. Wayne Shorter, 1964, Speak No Evil. Great players. Did I mention Elvin Jones, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, Freddie Hubbard? All right, let's move on to another genre, another wacky genre. Who likes lounge music? Who likes to hang out in a lounge with an umbrella drink in their hands? One of the kings of lounge music, Esquivel. I forget his first name, Juan something Esquivel. But he was a leading sort of band director, composer in the, I'm going to say 50s and 60s. And his music is classic in the world of lounge, but innovative because he used a lot of weird sounds and weird orchestrations and otherworldly sounds. And this is an original I got at a thrift store for probably $1 or $2. But today you can get a reprint for probably $20. Esquivel, otherworld sounds. And it's got some standard tunes on it. Begin, Old Black Magic, Nature Boy, It Had to Be You. But his orchestrations are creative and lush and even weird. So Esquivel, I recommend any early record from Esquivel. This just happens to be the one that's one of the ones that's more well known. But I would recommend any Esquivel if you're trying to get into the lounge and the weird stuff. Okay, more genres. What's the last genre we're going to talk about today? Had to do it. Had to go classical. And let's see. What do I say about this record? What is this record, Greg? Do you know the impressionistic period of classical music? Debussy, Claude Debussy, and Maurice Ravel. I don't want to pronounce their names in French. It's not going to sound right. Whatever I do, I'm going to screw it up. Debussy and Ravel are known for these big, lush, impressionistic pieces, kind of like the impressionistic artwork of the time, It's fuzzy, it's soft, it's lush. Well, they didn't really do a lot of chamber music, and each of them only recorded, or I should say composed, one string quartet. So the two string quartets, Ravel and Debussy, are often paired together. And I've had the CD of this is like one of my very first classical records that I've had for ages. I just found the LP at a thrift store for $1 or $2, but it's this exact recording. Check out the awesome outfits that these guys are wearing. This guy here looks like he's really having a lot of fun. Can I zoom in more on this? This guy looks like he's having a blast, doesn't he? They're just chilling out there in the Black Forest or wherever they are. Even though they might look nerdy, good music. If you're new to classical music or you can't figure out how to get into classical music, here's some pieces that are very accessible for the first time listener. So if you're new to classical music, I recommend the string quartets of Debussy and Ravel. You will often find them back to back. And I'm not saying this is the best recording. I don't know. I'm not enough of an expert to tell you that this quartet sounds better than this quartet. But any recording, Debussy and Ravel string quartets, they're not numbered because they each only made one of them. That's it, guys. That is 5 records that I recommend based on their genres. And congrats again to the Vinyl Guru for her success. And don't forget to sub my channel. Let me know what you think of this video. And I will check you guys later. Thank you for watching. Where's the off button on this thing? It's up here somewhere. Yeah, off button.